Silverstone hosted one of the most dramatic races of the 2025 MotoGP season. The British Grand Prix was full of incidents, surprises, and incredible storylines. As the dust settled on the iconic British track, Marco Bezzecchi emerged as the unexpected winner, propelling Aprilia back to the top. Meanwhile, Marc Márquez narrowly avoided disaster to maintain his position in the standings despite the red flag drama that nearly derailed his hopes. How did Márquez maintain his position in the standings despite the race drama? Let's discuss. The race, which was scheduled to last 20 laps, got off to a chaotic start. At the Vale corner, Franco Morbidelli and Alex Espargaro collided, spewing a dangerous oil onto the track. The situation worsened when, just seconds later, Alex Marquez, who had performed brilliantly the day before, winning the sprint race, lost control at turn 1 while in the lead. The drama continued when Marc Márquez, the 8-time world champion, fell at turn 10 just seconds before the red flag was raised. The red flag was a crucial turning point in the race. According to MotoGP regulations, since the race was stopped before 3 full laps were completed, all riders had the right to restart the race from the starting grid as if the previous incident had never happened. This could be considered a miracle that saved Marc and Alex Marquez from potentially earning 0 points that day, which could have changed the direction of the championship competition. When the green light came on again for the 19-lap restart, pole position winner Fabio Quartararo immediately shot to the front on his Yamaha. The French rider was solid and confident throughout the 11 laps, showing an extraordinary performance. Quartararo managed to create a gap of more than 4 seconds between himself and his closest competitor, causing many to believe that victory was within his grasp. However, drama struck on the 12th lap. A technical problem with the rear ride height adjustment device on his Yamaha forced Quartararo to slow down and retire from the lead. It was a big blow for the Yamaha star, who had been so dominant in front of a cheering crowd. Meanwhile, Marco Bezzecchi, who appeared calm and had a soft front tire strategy, slowly but surely began to climb. The Italian rider passed Johann Zarco and began planning an attack on Quartararo. Once Quartararo was eliminated, Bezzecchi firmly took the lead. With consistency and sharp focus, he maintained his rhythm until the end of the race, crossing the finish line 4.088 seconds ahead of Zarco. This victory was special. It was his first with Aprilia, ending his win drought since the 2023 Indian Grand Prix and marking Bezzecchi's return to the top of MotoGP. Meanwhile, behind the 2 leading riders, there was a tense battle for the final podium spot that held the audience's attention. Marc Márquez, who had gone wide at the Copse corner with Pecco Bagnaia, fell outside the top 10 and had to start from scratch. However, Marquez showed his typical determination, full of courage and aggression, never giving up. He overtook one rival after another, even in seemingly impossible moments, until he closed in on Franco Morbidelli, who performed extraordinarily consistently in 3rd position. As the final laps approached, a fierce duel broke out. Morbidelli and Marquez exchanged positions through the corners of Chapel, Stowe, and Vale, attacking and defending with extraordinary technical skill. Morbidelli managed to close the gap several times, but Marquez continued to press relentlessly. Finally, with an aggressive and precise maneuver in the last corner, Marquez took 3rd place, finishing only 0.017 seconds behind Morbidelli in one of the most dramatic finishes of the season. Meanwhile, Alex Marquez finished 5th with a solid performance throughout the race. Pecco Bagnaia had led after the restart but fell again at Luffield, suffering bad luck. This was the 2nd time in a row that he failed to finish, which is a heavy blow to the defending champion's chances in this season's title race. How were Marc and Alex Marquez able to compete again after falling at the start of the race? The answer lies in the MotoGP regulations, particularly Articles 1.25.2 and 1.26.4. According to these rules, if a race is stopped with less than 3 laps completed, all registered riders are eligible to participate in the restart. Damaged motorbikes can be repaired or replaced with spares, and teams can refuel. This rule was a lifesaver for Marc and Alex Marquez, who were involved in a chaotic incident at the start of the race. Other riders, such as Alex Espargaro and Franco Morbidelli, also benefited because they were able to participate again after being involved in accidents. Marc took full advantage of his second chance. With maturity and extraordinary determination, he overcame adversity, remained competitive until the finish line, and earned crucial points. These additional points further solidify his position at the top of the standings and emphasize his reputation as one of the toughest and smartest riders who can take advantage of every opportunity on the track. In the paddock, Bezzecchi's victory brought great joy to Aprilia. However, for Aprilia CEO Massimo Rivola, this victory was also an opportunity to send a message to Jorge Martin. Martin, absent due to injury, had shocked the paddock by revealing his intention to invoke a contract clause and leave Aprilia at the end of 2026. This is a message for Jorge. Our bike can win, Rivola said, reassuring the reigning world champion that the Aprilia project is worth fighting for. With Bezzecchi now a two-time race winner, Aprilia has sent a strong signal that they are no longer underdogs. Bezzecchi also expressed his gratitude. The last month has been very difficult for me. I started a new adventure, Aprilia believed in me, and we worked hard. We never gave up. Thank you to the entire Noali factory. The results of the 2025 British MotoGP had a significant impact on the shift in standings this season. Marc Márquez is increasingly showing his dominance by standing firmly at the top of the standings with 196 points. He is now 24 points ahead of his younger brother, Alex Marquez, who remains in second place despite failing to win a podium at Silverstone. Meanwhile, defending champion Pecco Bagnaia has suffered a major blow. With only 124 points, he is far behind after failing to finish 2 consecutive races. The pressure on his shoulders is growing, while his rivals continue to gain important points. Johann Zarco was one of the stars at Silverstone, winning second place and increasing his points total to 97. Fifth place is still within his reach. Fabio Di Giannantonio is close behind in sixth place with 87 points, the same number as Fabio Quartararo. Quartararo lost his chance to win due to a dramatic incident in the final laps of the British race. Marco Bezzecchi had one of the biggest surges. Thanks to his brilliant victory at Silverstone, he jumped to 7th place with 69 points, significantly improving his position. Pedro Acosta is in 9th place with 58 points, and Fermin Aldeguer is in 10th place with 55 points. Both riders have shown commendable consistency in their debut seasons. Brad Binder had a tough battle at Silverstone and was given a track penalty, dropping him one position to 15th and adding to the drama of the mid-table battle. The 2025 British Grand Prix will forever be remembered as one of the most dramatic and tense races in modern MotoGP history. From the major incident that caused a red flag and prevented a potentially fatal crash for the main riders, to Marco Bezzecchi's incredible surprise victory, which brought Aprilia back to glory on the world stage, this race was full of drama. This race was an exciting spectacle that significantly changed the competitive landscape in the premier class. Amid all the drama, Marc Márquez proved once again why he remains the dominant figure and current leader of the standings. Despite having to restart the race due to an incident, Márquez showed extraordinary resilience and experience by securing an important podium finish. This podium finish keeps his hopes and opportunities in the world title hunt alive. The question is whether Marc Márquez will be able to widen the gap in the standings. Or will Aprilia, strengthened by Marco Bezzecchi's fighting spirit, pose a serious threat to the champion's dominance in the second half of the season? Share your thoughts in the comments below.